Audi's smallest crossover, the Q3, may have only been in America for about 4 years, but it was based off a platform that was almost a decade old, which is why I'm at the 2019 New York International Auto Show, and this is the fully redesigned 2019 Q3. Let's take a first look. So as I said earlier, the first generation Q3 may have only been in America since 2015, but its platform dated back to the Mark V Golf, which was nearly a decade old. This new one is finally on the new MQB architecture that's on the current generation Golf, and it definitely has a very much Audi look to the front end. As you guys know, Audi's been kind of changing the look of their cars over the years, and this basically looks like the e-tron and the Q8. As you can see here, LED headlights are going to be standard with an LED daytime running light. Audi says a full LED headlight with a unique signature lighting will be available. This particular one that I'm showing you is the Prestige package with the $1,300 S-Line Sport package. I love the new front fascia with this new grille. It's the signature Audi corporate single frame grille. There's a little bit too much in terms of fake air vents down here, but I can see where Audi was trying to go with the more aggressive look of the S-Line model. It definitely looks a lot more interesting versus the somewhat puny looks of the previous generation. It just wasn't originally designed to be for the American market. Now, because this has been a little bit influenced by the American team here at Audi, this is considerably larger than the previous generation. Audi says the overall length is almost 4 inches longer versus the previous generation, which really adds more space in the rear seat and in the cargo area, which Audi says was an important factor for them. The 20-inch wheels that you're seeing on this particular one look fantastic. They're part of the S-Line package. They're wrapped in 255 series tires. They really fill out the wheel wells much nicer. Previously, Audi didn't even offer an S-Line package on the Q3. And again, looking at the rest of the proportions here, you can see it was actually raised by 1.3 inches over the European model, again, to make this thing look a little bit more like a crossover. At the back, you can see the signature Audi corporate LED taillights are here. You have the new badging here with the 45 TFSI badging, which doesn't have anything to do with the engine displacement or the horsepower. It just shows where this falls in the lineup, which we'll talk about the engine displacement in just a moment. Now, Audi lately has been also kind of hiding the exhaust tips on their current models, and that's kind of the case here with the Q3. It tries to give you like a fake look to the exhaust, but there's no actual chrome accents. The exhaust is actually completely hidden underneath the rear bumper, which some of you may not like that look, especially on an S-Line packaged model. Now, the cargo area of the Q3, as you can see, a power liftgate is included. They didn't have official numbers for us yet, but they did say that when they increased the overall length by 4 inches, they basically added it into the cargo area. It looks a lot more usable versus the previous generation, which honestly had very little more space over like a Golf. So if you guys remember the first generation Q3, the interior was probably the most dated aspect of the car. It literally looked like it came from a car that was like 15 years ago. With the all-new second generation, that's definitely not the case. This is my first time actually sitting in this car, and I have to say, for the base model of the Q3 of Audi's SUV lineup, this is an interior that has the wow factor that the Volvo XC40 definitely gives you. The first thing you're going to notice, 2 gigantic screens. There's the 12.3-inch virtual cockpit display that's married with this 10.3-inch display that's part of Audi's new MMI interface. It's now a touch screen, which I actually haven't had a chance to show you guys. This was first debuted in the all-new A6 and A7. In terms of the materials, you can see this is their base model, and this is all a soft touch injection molded plastic. There's actually some suede Alcantara material here on this part of the dash, which is genuine. It's kind of similar to what you find on the seats. There's some aluminum look trim. It's all hard touch plastic on the glove box here, but it's a soft touch plastic down on this area. The glove compartment, as you can see, is pretty big actually. It's damped and lined with felt, so I like that. All the door panel materials also are kind of soft touch. There's an interesting door handle over here, which kind of connects with the aluminum trim. Everything in here definitely looks and feels a lot more expensive and much more impressive. Now, Audi did say that the virtual screens here are going to be optional. I haven't really showed you guys a full in-depth view on this. It's going to have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. They kind of got rid of their MMI controller here, which is interesting because they really were known for that little touchpad, but that's gone. This over here controls the 8-speed automatic transmission. You get paddles on the wheel. And Audi says that their driver assistance stuff, most of it like the PreSense Basic, which is the automatic braking, the lane keep assist, that's going to be standard. Adaptive cruise control with full speed range is going to be optional, but the panoramic sunroof you see over here is actually standard equipment, which is really a nice addition. This S-Line model also has these sports seats, which I find to be very comfortable with a really good amount of visibility. But this car is about 4 inches bigger, so let me hop into the back seat really quick and show you guys the space on that. So getting into the back seat of this vehicle, I want to show you guys the back seat because it has been substantially improved in the space back here. Basically, the 4 inches went into the legroom and the cargo area of this vehicle. They didn't have have actual official numbers yet, but just sitting back here, I'm 5'7". There's a lot of headroom. There's a pretty good amount of legroom, and the materials back here are pretty much what you expect from the front seats. They've kind of carried it over. You have rear seat vents, you have 2 USB ports, and then a power outlet over there, and then you get a nice little armrest that kind of folds down to give you 2 cup holders. Now, Audi says the new Q3 will be going on sale in the summer of this year with pricing already announced. This base model, the premium model with all-wheel drive, with the panoramic sunroof, with the LED headlights, starts at $34,700 plus destination. Kind of a bargain, honestly, if you're looking at the pricing. This fully loaded Prestige with the S-Line package, I imagine, will be probably around $10,000 more, which makes it very competitive with the rest of the segment. So I imagine this will continue to be a very hot car for Audi when it does eventually go on sale. For Redline Reviews at the 2019 New York International Auto Show, I'm Sophian Bey.